Welcome back to my bathroom. I have had so many requests from male and female, young and old, to see a look from like the 60s and 70s when I first started wearing makeup. And in 1970, I was 15 years old. And that's about the time I first started wearing makeup. And we weren't allowed to wear makeup, but my sister and I would sneak and wear it and then rub it all off before we walked back through the door, because we would get wailed on if we got caught wearing makeup. So we basically, we only had a few essentials. We had liquid foundation, Maybelline. I know that some of you had these. If you're older, you've had these Maybelline eye pencils. So we had a liquid foundation, the Maybelline eye pencils, a little bit of blush, and some white for underneath our eyes, and lipstick. That's about it. And that wasn't too much to carry or leave in your locker or whatever you had to do. But I would braid my hair at night and have it wet, braid it, and because back then we didn't have curling irons, we didn't have crimpers, we didn't have hair straighteners. So I wasn't about to go to bed with my hair all up, because I have really long hair. I wasn't about to go to bed with my hair all up in curlers, and I wanted to have that hippie thing going on anyway. So I would braid it and then release the braids and then braid it here on the sides like so. Pull them back, but if you want to see how I did this look, just keep watching. Okay, let's just get started. The first thing, when I was a kid, I was 15 in 1970, and I started wearing makeup about that time. And one of the first things, I don't really think there was a lot of different kinds of makeup for teenagers back then like there are now. So of course every girl back then wore CoverGirl. It wasn't quite packaged like this, but it was in a glass bottle. Back then we all went for the palest, lightest skin we could get. This is in buff beige, CoverGirl. This one is Oil Control. I remember I tried to find it at the drugstore, but I remember when I wore foundation back in my teen years, it was medicated. So back then we didn't have brushes, we just put it on with our hands. So that's what I'm going to do. I didn't wear concealer because we didn't wear concealer back then. We had Clearasil. Boy, that was a name from the past. Do they even sell Clearasil anymore? Sure they do. But I'm just going to apply that everywhere. CoverGirl got me through all my teenage years. I think I wore CoverGirl clear up in way past in my 20s. It was great makeup. I didn't really wear powder. I just put like liquid foundation on back then. So I'm just going to apply that with my fingers. Like I said, we didn't have all the wonderful brushes back then that we do now. Pretty pale. CoverGirl. Easy, breezy, beautiful. That was not the theme back then. Then I'm going to put some eyebrows on, just because we didn't really do too much with our eyebrows back then. The goal back then was to have the thinnest, most plucked looking eyebrows you could find. I did put my hair in a French braid last night, or this morning, and wore it to work, and it's all coming down. I look crazy, but I'm going to take it down and show you exactly how I used to wear my hair. So I'm just going to try to do these eyebrows as skinny as possible and get away with it. See, I don't even have any eyebrows over there anymore. I don't know who talked us into plucking our eyebrows back then. All I remember when I was a teenager was Maybelline Expert Brow and Eye Pencils. There were two in here. I took one out. I don't know. I'm sure any of you older girls that are probably not as old as I am, but that are older, these were our mainstay. This is what we used. You didn't have retractable pencils. We didn't have, makeup today is so much better than it used to be. But what I would do, the main thing for me was to line my eyes. And I would put that in, that's why it doesn't bother me one bit. I would line the bejesus out of my eyes. I mean, I'd line them and then line them some more. Inside, outside, all over. But what I used for eyeshadow, I I was one of those girls that was bound and determined to stay away from that blue eyeshadow. So this is how I would do make eyeshadow for myself. I would start here, about the middle of my eye, and I would just put that on just like this. Back then, I don't know, it just wasn't about palettes and MAC, and this is exactly how I put my makeup on up until about, I don't know, 20 years ago. But I would put it on like that, and then just take my finger, and fingers were used a lot back then, and rub it out. This was my eyeshadow. Yeah, we didn't have Urban Decay Primer Potion. We didn't have Painterly Paint Pot. This is what we had to use. And I'm going to line it here. And do the same on the top. This was my eyeshadow. And I did this every single day, no matter what color I wore, no matter where I was going. I might do it heavier for evening. And I think that this is why Urban Decay Primer Potion was invented, because you talk about creasing, oh my gosh. But you carried one of these with you everywhere. I did. I carried one of these everywhere I went, and it just went in and reapplied it. And we really went real heavy under the eye. Not that heavy under the eye. Maybe that's why I don't know how to apply makeup with a brush, because I was so busy doing my eye pencil. And back then we had cake eyeliners that were like eyeshadows that you put a brush, get them wet and swirl the brush in them. And you're not going to believe this, I spit in my eyeliner. But I'm going to use MAC just because I couldn't find a cake eyeliner like so. And I went heavy duty on the eyeliner. I think we were trying to be like Sophia Loren, but back then it was all about peace, love, hippie. It was free love. If you can't be with the one you love the one you're with. The final thing that was more important than anything was mascara. I mean, you would put mascara on, and then you'd put more mascara on. And what we did, I remember as a teenager, we would sit around, we'd all go to these, they were called coffee houses, and we would all sit around, and someone would play the guitar, and we'd have on our bohemian little dresses and our hippie, and we would sway to the sound of the music and talk about the meaning of life. Yeah. It was a very liberating time. The biggest discussions I remember back in those days were trying to figure out the meaning of life, peace. And I don't know, I did that for several years, lived the bohemian lifestyle, rode the hippie buses, went to coffee houses and church group things, and went all around, and we all tried to find the meaning of life in these coffee houses. And then I decided to break away from that and find my own meaning of life. I got married. That will teach you the meaning of life, and it'll teach you fast. I'm going to cut away because I don't think you don't really want to see me put my mascara on. Okay, another thing that we did that was, I think they made this rule now because of what we did back in the 70s, was we took white powder and put white powder, and I'm going to cheat and use a MAC brush, but we would take white powder and put it underneath our eyes. I know I did. I think it was just because it kind of made your eyes stand out and was supposed to brighten your eyes. I don't know why we did it, but everybody else did it, so I did it. See how that looks? And then we wore blush, which I found this is CoverGirl Cheekers in Peach. We wore blush, but the goal was to have strong eyes and a very strong lip. So I'm going to cheat again because my chubby little cheeks would never get it with this little brush. So I'm going to use pretty light blush, really. We didn't go as, I mean, back then, I was young enough I didn't have to wear a lot of blush. But just kind of a little bit on the cheeks. I don't think I put it on my nose, but gosh, CoverGirl, the smells of CoverGirl bring back my teenage years. But the thing that we did most, like I said, was we went with strong lips and strong eyes. The goal was to have the strongest, most powerful looking eyes you could pull off, and strong, bright lips. So I'm just going to line my lips. I don't think we did back then, but I'm going to. Using Wayne Goss's trick of going straight across. And I'm going to use, the color I'm going to use for this is MAC in just plain red. And I am going to take some on my brush. And just because I'm me and I want to, I'm going to take some, this is St. Germain, one of them melted in my car in Florida. So I put it in just an empty jar, and I'm just going to do the center. So that's what I did to my hair. Whew, my hair. I put my hair in a French braid last night. I'll turn around real quick and show you what not last night. I put my hair in a French braid this morning when after a shower about 2:30. I put my hair in a French braid and braided it when it was still wet. So can you see? This morning. So I'm going to take my hair out. Okay, I undid all of that mess out of the French braid, and I don't know if you can see it or not, but it really gives you a crimpy look. And back in the 70s, let me tilt this down a little bit. Back in the 70s, I don't remember if I even had a curling iron, but I know we didn't have crimpers, and I know we didn't have straighteners. So I would do my hair. I would braid it at night in lots of braids, not just one back then, because I would braid it at night, and then I would wake up in the morning, and it would be dry by then. I would take it all out and usually wear like a headband, or sometimes I would braid the little front things here and pull it back. In fact, I might do that. In fact, I think I will. But I would take like the sides here. I would take like the sides and braid these, which I didn't have this mullet thing going on back then, thanks to my wonderful hairdressers from today. But I would braid like on either side of my head, and it would act like I was such a little hippie. I really was. I wore like long gowns and peace and love and flowers. I was such a little hippie freak, it wasn't funny. But hey, I think everybody was. It was Vietnam and the war and President Nixon, and that's just what we did back then. That's the way it was. So I braided that side, and then I would come over here. Let's take a lot of this bangs here. And I was a hippie little freak. Oh, it was fun though. I can honestly say I loved being a child of the 60s and 70s. It was fun. It was, we were all back then worried about, we had the Vietnam War as opposed to the Iraq War. We were worried about, we weren't worried about terrorists so much as we were worried about, I guess it was the same, nuclear bombs. I want to take this side and this side and put them together. I haven't done my hair like this forever. Take these two braids and put them in the back. I've seen girls today still have the same hairstyle, so I wasn't too far off. It's all messed up right there. But it really did make your hair fuller. It made it look like a hippie. That was the goal. And it just, woo, like Cher. Woo. I hope you like this. I think I'm glad the 70s are over with. I think I'm glad that now I can wear MAC makeup, and that they have curling irons and straighteners, and I think I'm glad. Anyway, I don't know what I would have done. I think I would have put that back there too, like that. Anyway, that's my 70s look. The piece. I have a picture of me when I was 12 or 13, with this peace symbol, with a necklace, a choker just like this with a peace symbol on it. Peace. Thanks for watching.